What is going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to the show.
What's up,
Welcome, my
everybody?
buddy John. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. And yourself?
Doing fantastic. Doing fantastic. Can't complain. Um, I this past week, well, actually started Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 4 days in a row. I had the card sales on Dibdit, and I gotta say, it went pretty good.
That's good. I know I tried to make two of them. The other one I didn't even see until it was too late.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's getting good. I mean, you know you know, for anybody looking to do it, if you have cards you want to sell, I mean, it is a excuse me, it is a it's a marketplace that you can do, buy it now. What's up, Dommy?
Dami should be here with us. That's all I'm saying.
I know.
3 weeks.
Um, but you have buy it, like, so you basically have like a little store, right? You have buy it now, you have auction, and then you could add the live auctions. So you have all three parts to it. You have progressive shipping built in. One thing they don't have yet is they don't have the like the eBay standard envelope. But if you offer progressive shipping and say, hey, like I did, guys, you buy the first card you buy, shipping, you're going to get charged shipping of $5. But after that, there's no other cost to it. And
That's
the
nice.
what well, and then here's the other thing on top of it, John, where they add to it is that I had four shows 4 days in a row. I got, it's like, so I had people come in on Thursday. They bought a card on Thursday. They came in Sunday, bought a card on Sunday. Those cards on Sunday still had zero shipping. Even though you end your show, if you don't, as long as you don't fulfill their orders, it goes ahead and it lets them get free shipping.
Oh, nice. So it rolls over for him. That's nice.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh, you
Lachlan,
on
how
it?
you doing? No, I'm on Dibdit cards off of District. It's a really good marketplace. I'm hoping they just opened up breaks. And there's 1,500 members in this marketplace. They just opened up breaks and stuff. They're trying to limit it right now, so hopefully I will do some more sales in June and everything. So hopefully come maybe middle of June or July for sure, I should be able to start doing breaks there. With the and have a good audience and stuff like that. So that's the big thing. But it's I mean, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You don't have to preload anything if you don't want to. Like, I've done toy sales, I've done clothes sales, and those I've preloaded. But like, I'm gonna I'm going away this weekend, but when we get back, I'm going to be busy at work like the month of June. So I probably won't be traveling. So I'm going to probably like get a lot of stuff on and try and do a couple of rip and ships and stuff. And again, the same type of thing is I could do a rip and ship. Let's say I go, okay, at Thursday nights, I'm going to do rip and ships. I could do it for the whole month, charge one shipping fee. And as long as you come back the next time, you don't pay, you don't pay any more shipping on top of that.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's I mean, it really is a pretty cool a pretty cool marketplace. There's two.
Definitely better than Whatnot.
Yeah, and I think the thing is that where, I mean, Whatnot is Whatnot. I mean, I'm hearing about there are some people on there, who don't have a big social media thing and they're getting, doing good in sales and stuff like that. And here, it's not necessarily that you have to, but um, with social media, like it's not like, or you basically do the exact same thing. But the difference is that that you have followers, but then you have the marketplace. So everybody in the marketplace kind of gets an idea that, hey, there's live streams going on. Your followers will get a message or an email saying, hey, Huddle's going to be live Thursday, 9 o'clock, whatever it may be and stuff. So it helps broadcast. I don't get anything from, at least I don't. Maybe I wasn't getting anything when I would try Whatnot, but then again, I didn't have followers. I mean, and I don't mean, like guys and girls in the card community and stuff like that. I mean, actually on Whatnot and hit the follow button.
Right.
But it was really good. It was really good and everything. But so man, this weekend was an all big weekend for wrestling. It's been, we had a Saturday night main event, and then there was Battleground on Sunday. Battleground, I didn't watch that much. I had it on in the background while I was doing my sale. It was on. Same thing on Saturday. The one thing that surprised me on Battleground was that you actually had an NXT guy win the TNA title. Joe Hendry lost to Trick Williams. So that was very, very interesting on how that's going to work going forward. But Saturday night's main event, I mean, when we did the preview show, we didn't know about the Zelina Vega,
Right.
Chelsea Green. Although we kind of had an idea that they were going to add something.
Yeah, it just didn't feel right.
Yeah, they are abusing TNA. I don't disagree with you. They took their women's champion in Jordan Grace. Looks like they're going to grab, Joe Hendry next. They're not doing that. Maybe TNA thinks they're doing them any favors. I don't think WWE, and TKO thinks that way.
No.
They are, it's just like they got AAA now, from Mexico. They ain't going to do them any favors either.
No, they'll give them that one pay-per-view, and that's going to be it.
Let's go ahead and understand what a lot of this is all about. I mean, I think, you start seeing some of these moves and stuff like that. In my opinion, these are things to go ahead and affect these guys. I think they're getting better at what they do. AEW, their pay-per-views, which unfortunately you got to pay for them, but their pay-per-views, number one, they're all like WrestleManias. They are friggin' long as the day goes, man. It's incredible, and they are unbelievable. AEW is definitely killing, WWE when it comes to PLE or pay-per-view, whatever the hell you want to call it. They are killing them because they are incredible, especially when you look at the last bunch that we've had come out of WWE in 2025 so far. So from that standpoint. But for main event, I mean, were there surprises? Yeah. Let's start off right. You start off with the tag match. Now, the funny thing is, we all thought the surprise was going to be Sami Zayn turning on CM Punk.
Not Bronson Reed coming back.
Not Bronson Reed coming back. What do you think about that whole thing?
I don't really know. I mean, it's kind of putting, especially if they do a tag team with him and Braun, basically unstoppable. I just feel somewhere they're putting him in there with that group to some point turn on Seth because of their past issues they've had with each other. So I have a feeling that's a temporary thing, possibly. But
yeah, my thing was, what I thought could be the thing that happens is a jealousy between Braun and Braun's son.
That's
Between
a possibility.
Breaker and Reed, right? All of a sudden now, that there's a jealousy, from Breaker to Reed and stuff like that. But
Who's going to be the enforcer type deal?
yeah, to me, I didn't think they would bring another,
Big guy.
Reed, a Breaker type guy. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, if the idea is to have them keep this stable, I don't know if it grows anymore, but if it is to eventually Seth becomes champion, they become tag champions, not to go ahead and be anything other than the one guy having the 2 belts and everything. This is a bloodline type thing.
Yes.
You had Roman Reigns as the champion. You had the Usos as the tag champions.
Yep. It's kind of just playing itself out, just a different stable. That's all it is.
Yeah. And when I started thinking about that, I was starting to think of, okay, it makes sense because those things seem to they seem to bring the crowd in. They see, and stuff like that. So I understand it. But again, I think one of the things we have to realize as wrestling fans is that there's very few things that they could do that are original anymore.
Yes, I agree.
In all the years that wrestling has been going on, there's really nothing, new out there. It's even like finishing moves, right?
Yeah.
Whether you want to call it the stunner, whether you want to call, or something like that, or you want to call, whatever it may be, the frog press. I mean, there's only so many things you could physically do that had that. And again, I don't know what's next. Maybe you do see something that adds a little twist to it, but the finisher part, most of those have already, been done.
Yeah.
Definitely Grace getting called up. Just not enough time for a little bit. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. So I don't. I think that match went like I thought it was gonna go. I mean, I think we all thought that you're not gonna have Seth and Breaker lose.
Right.
Unless it was gonna be some kind of. Again, if Sammy would have turned during the match, then it would be, I guess you can consider it a disqualification. I don't know. But to me, that one was, again, wasn't bad, but it was quick also.
Yeah, it was. It was like, what, a 15-minute match, I think?
And, yeah, I mean, it wasn't, it definitely was not that long of a match. So from that standpoint, I don't know. I mean, it was what it was. It's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And they did bring Vega and Green in, and as soon as I heard that one announced, I was like, well, I just don't see them taking the belt off of Vega right yet.
Yeah.
From that standpoint, it didn't make sense. But Larkin brings it in, and I wanted to tie this in. Here you go, right? They had Stephanie beat Grace. Good way to hang it up. Yesterday, they had JC Jane beat Stephanie Valcar. All right, now you're gonna have these 2 other women get called up. There are rumors going around that Sol Ruka might get called up also. Where are they going to get? Where are all these women going to get time?
Yeah. I mean, unless they plan on releasing some of the other ones.
Yeah. Sorry, what's their name? The other Japanese, what's her name? Just came back. What the hell's her name?
Irie?
Yeah. Sorry, Kane. Yes. This one here, Kyrie. So she came back. Asa's coming back. You got Alexa. You got Becky. You got Charlotte. So I mean, Kyrie Singh. Where are you going to go ahead and fit all these women in? Like I just don't. I don't understand what they're doing. And I'm not saying that these women don't deserve to get brought up to the main
Right.
roster, but what are
Yeah,
you going to
Julian
do?
and Roxanne. Yeah.
Julia and Roxanne. I mean, you think about there's five brand new women, well, four brand new ones that you just brought up, right? I'm counting Stephanie and Grace there, right?
What's up,
And then
Anthony?
you have these other ones going ahead and coming back. What's up, Anthony? How you doing? You know, then you have these other women going ahead and coming up. I just don't understand why. I mean, that's the only thing that's mind-boggling with me.
Yeah.
Right. BFAB, Meat Chin, just again, I don't think there's anything. I don't know.
They need to either release some or send some down and keep, back and forth is what they need to do. What's up, Sean?
Hey, Sean. Well, I mean,
But who are you going to send down then? I mean, you're not going to send Charlotte down there.
Can they loan some people to TNA? I mean, are they going to look at it as a as a demotion? I don't know, but I mean, they're going to get stale. They're not going to go ahead and get any kind of TV time. Look, I have a buddy that I coached baseball with, that I played baseball with, who is very good family friend of Sol Ruka's family. And he was saying that, he was the one who was saying that there's a rumor that she might get called up. And I told him, I said, look, I'd be extremely, I like watching her go ahead and wrestle. I mean, I do. I think it would be unbelievable for her. I go, but I would rather see her stay on NXT and just keep wrestling and being on TV wrestling.
Like if she gets called up, she might get like a one-off on a Monday night where she interrupts a match or something like that. That's it.
And she's not a seasoned veteran.
Right.
She's one of these NIL kids.
Oh, yeah.
She's one of these gymnastics girls, and stuff like that. And a lot of them that NXT and cheerleaders and stuff like that WWE signed, out of college to come and are still brand new into wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bailey's just sitting there. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting what they do, how they work them in again.
Because they're not bringing up as many guys as they are the women. It's like the women are going to outnumber the men here soon, if they don't already.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm yeah. Unless they got a lot of guys, unless they have a lot that they're going to try and figure up. Yeah, I think the last ones they brought up was the Fraxium tag team. They're really. I mean, Trick might have been one of the guys you could bring up. He's seasoned, stuff like that. I mean, you did go ahead and you did grab Ricky Saints and Eli, from AEW and stuff, but you took them. Oh, the big thing. Aha, look, two AEW stars go to WWE and they're on NXT.
Yeah. Don might have a point there. Could be bringing them in for Evolution, but they're going to have one match there and that's going to be it? A one-off? Possible.
Yeah, anything's possible. Anything's possible. Everything.
What do we have next? That was the
cage match.
Yeah.
I
knew who was going to win that one.
I was very surprised at the ending.
Yeah. Surprised he walked out.
But from what I was hearing about, what people were talking about is that that ending it that way is kind of a way to get Drew off of TV for a while. The embarrassing part of walking out and everything. He's been injured a lot lately. He actually has been working hurt, so he's getting Yeah, he's getting a vacation, and he's going ahead and what do you call it?
Get strengthened back up, heal up.
Yeah, you're right. They did get Penta and Phoenix also from AEW. So, but I don't, there was nothing to that match, and what I mean by that is there is nothing to look forward to in the future from that match.
Yeah,
You know,
I think I caught the ending of it, and that was it. The last couple of hits,
I mean, what does it do for Priest?
nothing really. I mean, who's he going to go against now? I mean, is he going to go for one of the titles? I mean, I don't think he's even in the running for Money in the Bank that I'm aware of.
I don't think. I mean, we should have some more. We should have another qualifying match.
I think Friday night. I think there's one for each Friday night too, and then I think Monday is the last one to get in. I think there's 3 on each or 4 on each right now.
Yeah.
So
I don't. Unless Priest gets in on Monday and he goes Money in the Bank, but he already won Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And he already cashed in. That's going to be an interesting one to talk about next week once we know what the match is.
Yeah.
But that one again, to me, that you don't want to say a filler match, but it kind of felt like it because we had the build up to it, okay, which was nothing great,
Right.
but you knew no matter what, there really was nothing to come out of it.
Right.
So
what are you going to do
from that standpoint? Then Cena and R-Truth, I tell you, the R-Truth entrance.
Yeah.
The guy is freaking priceless, man.
He is. I mean, I would have liked to see him beat Cena because it wasn't for the belt, just to have it happen. But to end it the same way he did with Cody, shake the hand, kick him in the nuts, and then hit him with the belt, kind of made no sense to me.
I mean,
I would love to have seen Orton interfere somewhere there, but because it happened to him. But
well, I don't know if I mean, again, we knew there was nothing coming out of this match after it.
Right.
It was a way to get Cena on Saturday night main event. Everybody's wondering if he's going to be at the one here in Atlanta.
What's that one going to be?
That's
for some reason I can see him. Nah, we can say nuts. It's okay. That's where he kicked him. Just saying. I have a feeling they're going to put somehow John on all the PLEs. Some sort of match, some sort of talking.
So what you have is, they're going to have Saturday night main event on Saturday, July 12th. Evolution on Sunday, July 13th. But then they're also having the Great American Bash, which is NXT, Saturday afternoon.
Well, then I don't know. You're right. I mean, he might not show up for the Saturday night main events. He was already on one, so he might. That might not be one of his setups.
No, I looked at prices.
You're not going?
Section 209, I think, or 210. Now, it's a small arena. I think they only have 2 bands. So 210 is the upper deck.
Right.
And then they only had like seats available in like the last 4 rows.
So you're really like top row.
And it was $200 and something.
That means that front row is probably like $5-6 grand at least.
It was nuts. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, it's sick.
And now I don't. I'm going to say this away, but I'm going to make an assumption that was for both shows.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe, but even still, I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it's still overpriced.
I
know they got to pay these guys, but I mean, seriously,
they had the first band. I think it was like whatever, you were opposite of the entrance, so you had you think about it, right? Where you're coming out, so you have all the floor seats, the ring, all the floor seats, and then you get to the first band and stuff like that. I think those were like $400 or $500 a seat.
just to watch.
And even if that is for both events, it's a Saturday night main event and it's Evolution.
It's not like a Mania or one of the big PBL or PLEs.
So you got to So you got to figure you're going to see 5 events on Saturday night, and with SummerSlam right around the corner, are you going to have anything crazy go ahead and happen?
Probably not. I mean, maybe, but doubtful.
So you're talking what? Probably another predictable show. And then you have Evolution, which
could be good, could be bad.
Right, which I would much rather sit, a little closer than further away for Evolution.
You can just buy the front row, Mike. You're good. You got it. Take out a second mortgage, an extra $50,000 loan. You can get those row seats.
Yeah.
What's up, Jason?
Hey, Jason, how you doing, buddy? Hope all is well with you. Also, we're doing pretty good here.
The last match, when I saw Cena talk to Jay in the back, I knew something was going to happen.
Yep.
It just felt that way. It's just like, really, you're going to come out and mess with it, aren't you?
Now, I didn't expect Cody to come out.
No, me neither.
I didn't think he would be back this soon. But I mean, again, nobody really thought Paul was going to win.
Right.
It was just a matter of how Jay was going to win. And you're right. Once he went ahead and said something, you kind of sort of figured that there'd be something going on. And we get a tag team match.
I don't know how good that's going to be. I really don't.
Am I still opening Topps Chrome? I think I have maybe 1 box left, maybe 2. I think I'm going to put. I think I'm going to put 1 blaster away, but I think I might have 1 left.
Yeah,
from that standpoint.
I don't see that match being that good at Money in the Bank. It can't be a main event. Money in the Bank would have to be the main event of that, the last match.
Yeah, I mean, you know what they're going to do. They're more than likely, they will have the women's Money in the Bank open. They'll have the men's Money in the Bank close. I don't know what you do, but we already know about this match.
Yeah.
They gotta get some of these. They gotta get some of these women's titles, on.
I mean, do we see a?
Oh no, we already know. Isn't Lyra and Becky?
That's what I'm thinking. They're going to end up going again.
Yeah, I think they have Lyra and Becky are going to go, and they're going to go for the 3rd time, and that's the if I win, I will never go ahead, and challenge you for that title again type bullshit match.
Yeah.
So you have that. I mean, don't you have to have the Heyman stable on?
But you'd have to build that up within the next week. Who they're going to go against? Seth, or they're going to put it against CM and Sam again? I can't see that happening.
CM and Sammy and somebody else.
Somebody else, and it'd have to be a big guy. It would only make sense. But there's who else? I mean, Damien is kind of the only big guy left, but I don't see that working the way it should.
I'm not sure. What is it? Money in the Bank should be Mania to get more people on the card, and the women should be at Evolution. Yeah, that's not a bad, And don't forget, the people who win this year get 2 extra months.
Yep.
Because they announced that Money in the Bank is now going to move to August in New Orleans.
Yep.
After they made the announcement that they're not going to do Mania in New Orleans next year.
They didn't say where they're doing it next year, did they?
Not yet, but from what I was reading and what some of the guys that I follow on X was saying is that they looked at what happened in Vegas, and I guess the total revenues, however they figure the whole thing out, it was like $800 million or something like that to Vegas.
Wow.
And it was Easter weekend. And they're wondering that if you don't have Mania on Easter weekend, what potentially could it be?
Yeah. I don't know.
Now, the thing for me is, if you said you were sold out,
But you really weren't.
and you had, right? But that's what they're claiming, right? Oh, we sold 63,000 one night, 63, or 60, whatever it was, 60,000, 63, right? So
now I will side on the air caution there that the people could have bought the seats and couldn't make it. So they wasted money. But the prices of those, I couldn't see you not showing up.
yeah, because you knew it was Easter weekend, way in advance.
Yeah.
I don't think all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, I can't go. It's Easter weekend.
And after you paid $5-6 for a ticket.
Right. And you would think you would be able to somehow reap some of that money back. Stuff like that. Heard pretty much bled Vegas dry and struggled. See, that's what I'm saying. They struggled to sell tickets. Now I wonder if it's they struggle at the beginning because of the prices, and the prices went down. Again, I don't know. You announced 60 some odd thousand both nights. So it was what over. I think it wound up being over 124 or close to 125,000 people for 2 nights. If it wasn't Easter weekend, what I'm saying is how many more? Like, I wonder how many people go. How many people would have gone just to go
right
to Vegas and be like, well, hey, I can't go to that, but I could go to the Hall of Fame. I could go to, whatever
Fan Fest or whatever it is.
Right, the Fan Fest type things. But from that standpoint, so I don't know what they're gonna. I mean, that, like I said, that's right now. That's what the chatter is. There are some people saying, don't be surprised if it's not in the U.S.
Maybe.
Now, they could easily go to Toronto and go, hey, we're out of the U.S.
They could.
Right, so you still get a big U.S. audience.
I don't think they'd sell many tickets up there.
Going to Europe, going to Saudi, going to Australia.
Go to Hawaii.
I think the thing what you do when you do that, the issue you're going to have, is what time do you put the freaking event on?
Yeah, if you go overseas, you gotta have to put it on early.
I mean, you saw what happened for Raw when they went to Germany and they went to London, right? when the show was on at 3:00 in the afternoon, 4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't one of them like even earlier? Didn't one of them start at like 11:00 or something like that?
9 or 11, I think it was.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't see that.
you're gonna have your U.S. crowd, your however many millions and millions of fans
You got to
in
get
the
up at
U.S. 9:00 in the morning, and they're all gonna have to like watch it at home. I mean, I just don't see it happening. Well, I mean, I should. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen at some point in time.
right.
You know, it is definitely going to be at some point in time, but you know, who the hell knows? They got a lot of things that they got to try and there's some things they got to figure out. You know,
They're
the
trying to do like NFL's doing and baseball's doing, going out for the first couple games of the year. It's like the first two are overseas. It's like, why? It makes no sense. I understand. I can't see you putting Mania in a different country. It would just kill them, I think.
yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm curious. I don't know if you're a UFC guy. I don't know if there's anybody in the chat that's maybe a UFC person. But how many of them do they have outside of the country in Europe and in other areas?
I'm not a UFC guy, but I don't think too many. I think a lot of them were in Vegas and stuff like that.
Like, where are the big ones? You know, when they're going to have a big match, are they really going to put a big? I'm not saying like, you know, hey, Conor McGregor, you don't put a UFC on in Ireland. I mean, I get some of that stuff, but I'm just curious. Or is it because there's so many of them that it doesn't not matter, that people don't care?
It could be.
You know what I mean, from that standpoint. But
there aren't too many cities they could really go to in the States that they haven't been to. I mean, New York's there, Philly. What, go to Maryland, DC for one?
Well, the thing you're going to have, though, yeah. You know, when you think about it, you know, it seemed like it was in a kind of sort of way tough enough to find a place that can do 2 nights for that, but now you got to find another place that's 2 nights for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
You know, so what are you going to do? I mean, you got to figure that part out. Like, people going, oh man, you know, like I believe, I know tickets have already gone on sale for SummerSlam, but you know, from being in that area, Dom knows from being in that area, I know from being in that area, there's not a lot to do around Met Stadium.
No.
You know, when there isn't an event there. You know what I mean? Like, there's just not, you know, it's not like there's, you know, it's not like a Vegas. It's not like an Atlantic City. So it you know, by all of a sudden now, like I say, now you're going another 2 nights and everything. Now, I know, look, they went to Pittsburgh and stuff like that, or they went to Philadelphia and everything, and they had the 2 nights there and stuff. And, you know, I get it and everything, but I just don't.
There's stuff in those cities if you want to. I mean,
you're in Philadelphia. You know, you're in friggin'. It's not in Newark. I don't even know what the hell city.
It's close enough to Newark.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, and if you're going to do a fan fest thing, you're going to do it in New York City.
And I don't think they will, because I think, isn't Fanatics Fest like in July? I think, or something like that, June or July. So I mean, I can't see that. I was looking at the prices of those. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Cena's going to be there to get a photo op or an autograph. $324. And they email you the picture with them signed. So that's not even really. Yeah, I'm not paying that. No way.
No, I mean, I think, you know, we were talking about it, and even some of the other people were talking about it on X. There was you know, people saying it's like, you know, Dave LaGreca was talking about him on Busted Open. You know, he, Bully Ray, and Tommy Dreamer had a segment on, you know, it leaving Vegas, leaving New Orleans and stuff, you know, and Bully Ray made some good points about, hey, look, you know, do you really care if you're the person who was going to have to, you know, you haven't bought a ticket yet. So why do you care? And what's his name? LaGreca's thing was bully. It's not about the people that would have to travel there. It's about the people that live there who heard that WrestleMania was coming to their city. They were so pumped up. They'd be able to, they wouldn't have to go ahead and buy a plane ticket or get a car, get hotels. They can stay in their own house. Although it's not about the people who travel. It's about the people who live within a, where they don't have to go ahead and can have to get a hotel or anything like that. It's those people. It's the local people who run businesses who are pumped as all hell.
Mm-hmm.
And you said 3 months later, you said, nope, sorry, psych.
Yeah,
we just playing.
It's ridiculous what they're doing there.
I mean, it's a very bad look. Very bad look. I mean, and I understand. Again, I get it. From a ticket sales perspective and all the other kind of stuff and everything, I understand. People saying, hey, does it really make a difference? It was still a year away. Ask the people that live in that city if it makes a difference to them.
I mean, did they pull out on their own, or couldn't make a deal with the stadium? We don't know what the circumstances were either. Or did they
from what kind of sort of was being reported is that they were looking at the the dollars and cents. And they were like, wow, Vegas or somebody that what people are thinking is that Vegas came back to them and said, hey, we want you to come back. Here's what we could offer, blah, 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 blah. And then they went to New Orleans, and that's why they got Money in the Bank, and that's why they got like a couple other things to go back there. So there are some people who are going, man, look, they got Money in the Bank, and I think they're going to get another PLE. People are going, look, they get 2. They're still getting 2 nights. It's like, yeah, but it ain't the friggin' same. You can't tell me the crowd is going to be the same for Money in the Bank as it would be for WrestleMania.
No way. I mean, do they go back to Vegas again since they made $800 million?
That is what everybody's thinking as of right now. There hasn't been anything official yet, which is very, very surprising. Very, very surprising that you would make that decision to pull it away. That's why there are some people that are wondering, did Saudi Arabia call up and say, hey, we want a WrestleMania. Here's what we're willing to pay you.
That could be. Because Money in the Bank is in LA, right?
Say it again?
LA is where Money in the Bank is this year. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So you couldn't. I guess you could do.
I think it's in the
Intuit Dome?
Yeah, where they had the first Raw on Netflix, Intuit Dome.
I mean, do they bring Mania there? I'm thinking they're going to end up in Vegas again, like you said, or Saudi. One of the two.
Yeah. I don't know. They, but this, I think when you look at what they're doing, I get why ticket sales are struggling when you look at the cards we've been getting for the last 3.
Exactly.
They haven't been great, as of right now. So
and I can't see the Raws or SmackDown doing good either. I mean, you got Raw, which is supposed to be 3-hour shows, now 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And it ends right at that 2.5 hour mark. It's like, was that in the contract with Netflix? It couldn't be 3; it had to be 2.5. That makes no sense, though.
I thought the 2 big things about Netflix were going to be, hey, guess what? We really, being that it's a streaming service, on Monday nights, we don't have to have an end time.
True.
I heard that was one of the things. And then the other thing, right? Yeah, yeah. See, yeah, that's what it is. There's no set time per se, but they're right around that 2 hours and 20 minutes to 2 hours and 35 minutes. They've
Yeah.
all been in that thing. Here was the other thing. Remember what they said with Netflix? We are going to be able to reach so much bigger of an audience. They're not.
Not if you're cutting a have a show go one night like 4 hours just to
Yeah,
see what happens.
they're not. You
And
know,
granted, I'd put a lot on creative, but you know,
so I don't know. It's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I don't know what I don't know. I just don't know how they make it interesting.
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
It doesn't. I mean, now I watched SmackDown last week, and that wasn't terrible, but wasn't good. And what's this one going to be? Another? You got the Money in the Bank matches, which are almost just as predictable. I mean, you knew Seth was going to win the one Monday night.
mm-hmm.
Didn't quite see Penta, but it was good to see him win it.
Right.
I don't pay for it just for Raw, but you know, it's nice to see it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping that somehow it ends up getting better. Seeing this as the Triple H error, but it's looking crappier and crappier.
Well,
almost want Vince back. Almost.
there is a rumor that Vince has said he wants to buy WWE back.
I saw that too.
I mean, I'm not sure how that could go ahead and happen.
No, I don't see. I mean, I could see him possibly buying. Maybe he buys TNA.
I would think that's what he would do.
I mean, you throw it really out there, and possibly he buys AEW, but I doubt it.
Well, yeah, because there's no reason for AEW to sell. Yeah, he doesn't have that kind of money. But what if you bought TNA? What if you bought NWA? You know.
All right, but he could also not maybe straight out buy AEW, but maybe buy into it and work with Tony Khan. That's a possibility too.
Anything's possible.
But
anything's possible. Yeah, I mean, AEW does have a lot more money. But I don't know. They have to figure something out. They need to figure out a way to make it more worthwhile for people to go ahead to Lockin's point. You know, how many people are willing to all of a sudden fork over that kind of money? Like, I wonder how many people joined Netflix just for Raw, and after these first 5 months have gone and said, "Oh, hell no."
Yeah.
Hell no. I am done. Yeah, I could see that. Matty Ice.
What's up, Matty?
Matty Ice. The basketball team from Indiana is doing very well. They're coming up to being another 6-letter word that probably won't be allowed to be said on this channel. But they'll figure it out. I mean, they have to. I mean, like, if you're Netflix, you gotta be scratching your head going,
why did we do this deal?
This ain't what we signed up for.
Oh. But
you know, we didn't sign up for this crap.
Yeah.
You know, Yeah, Thunder game is over. 111-76 with a little more than 4 minutes left. Just got to wait and see who comes out of the East. Wait a minute. Now, you just said John couldn't say the word nuts, but you could put that in the chat.
You have to say rooster suckers. You can't say, if I can't say nuts, say it.
Or you have to spell, or you have to use COX.
Yeah, there you
go. Yeah, they should have known something when Fox was like, yeah, you know what? This ain't working out. Yeah. I mean, look, to your point, I have it because we watch other stuff on it.
Right.
But
Exactly.
You're right. If we never had it, I mean, so I can also say this. If we didn't have it, I would have signed up for it. But I would have needed everything else that they have to offer.
Yeah.
For me to go ahead and stay.
You'd have to Raw, SmackDown, NXT.
No. I don't mean that. I mean Netflix. All the other things that Netflix has to offer would have to go ahead and draw me in and to make me stay, because Raw would push me away because I don't see the value in it.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, if I didn't have it, I mean, I do where I watch it on the illegal channels, but that I find, but
right.
NXT gets, or NXT gets everything else next year besides the live shows. So they'll lose Raw then?
No. I think what he's saying is that they get
or the house shows.
I believe next year all the PLEs
we're gonna go to there, get off Peacock.
Go to Netflix also. So they're gonna kind of force you. Right. They won't get they don't get NXT right now, they don't get SmackDown. So that they're gonna force you, if you want to watch PLEs, to have to go ahead and have there.
Well,
because everywhere else,
the European model has the SmackDown on it.
And Netflix, the European model has the PLEs.
Yeah. So I think eventually you're going to see that shift.
Yeah. Well, they've already said. Now, Dom, just out of curiosity, I thought the deal for on Peacock go through 2026, or does it end at 2020 at the beginning at the end of 2025? That's fine, because you have to pay for Peacock already. True.
Yeah, but Peacock's a lot cheaper than Netflix. I will say that.
Yeah, because Peacock is what, $6?
I think I'd pay $9.99. It's not even that, I think. But yeah, it's cheaper than the like $20 you pay for, what do you call it? And this year, let me.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Peacock contract. March of 26.
Okay, so basically you have, wow, so that means WrestleMania next year will be on Netflix.
Yep.
That'll be, wow. I wonder if they did it. Not saying that, wow. Very, very interesting. So, wow, that makes sense now, it makes sense why you would cancel out of New Orleans, because now you have that new partner coming in, the first big PLE on the new net on another network.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you start all these little dots and everything, and all of a sudden, boop, 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 boop. And it's funny. They all make a $sign.
Exactly.
When you connect the dots, it all makes a $sign.
They don't really say much about it. I know it's a 10-year deal.
That's true, Larkin. That's true.
Oh, yeah, okay. It does say that beginning 2025 includes the broadcasts of Raw in U.S., Canada, and UK and Latin America, with plans to expand to more regions. Netflix will also be the global home for all other WWE shows and specials, including SmackDown, NXT, and premium live events like WrestleMania.
So they are going to get NXT and SmackDown eventually.
Yeah, that's what it says here. Yeah, it doesn't say like when or anything like that, but and they have an extension, a potential extension or opt out option. So yeah, it's,
Wow.
if they do the Netflix and or NXT and SmackDown, maybe 2 years, like 2027, maybe after they lose it with Peacock. I don't know.
As Larkin said, both of those just started new deals, so he might be right that they signed, like a 2 year. If they did sign like a 2 year deal or something, that may put them in the 2027 type area. Who knows? But they got to figure something out. The I wonder what storyline they are. Oh, 5 years. Okay, good. I wonder what you have to be looking at some long term booking. So the John Cena storyline is going to be easier. You know, here we are, the end of May. So now you got June, July, August, September, October, November. So you're down to 7 months left of John Cena.
Yeah.
So 7 months left. We all are speculating that he's not going to want to go out as a heel.
Right.
So, the last real pay-per-view is Survivor Series. So I mean, it's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting with how that storyline goes. It's kind of sad. We kind of already know the Jay storyline.
Right.
But now we have the draft coming up, right? Doesn't the draft start soon?
I think so.
Right? Is it right after Money? Is it right after Money in the Bank?
If not right after, it's something really close to there.
Man, I may have to get a Ron Cena.
It is. You're right. It is a 5-year deal, but there is an option if they want to opt out.
So,
but I don't. Maybe 2028 we see it all go there. But Ron Cena. Who wants a Ron Cena card? Seriously.
So WWE 2025 draft date now. So this can't be right. This was if they were to adhere to their pattern, it would have been May 23rd, May 26th. Obviously, that ain't happening.
Yeah, that did not happen. So they probably pushed it back to after Money in the Bank. So I think it makes sense.
So, hold the draft. Very likely it'll happen the end of May, potentially over the weekend that they're in Tampa. Again, we know that it's not going to happen.
And there's been no talk of it on TV at all.
So there's no.
So I'm thinking maybe after Money in the Bank, or what's after Money in the Bank? And I'm not saying the Evolution one, but you have
the next big one is SummerSlam.
You do it before SummerSlam?
You have to. You got to do it in June.
Wonder how many of the big names stay where they're at and stuff. I know sometimes they would take Jay, move him to SmackDown, and take their champion, move him to Raw, just to give him different competition. But
well, you got to believe that. Well, if Seth wins Money in the Bank, it doesn't make a difference what channel he's on.
right, what pay-per-view is in Phoenix? Because that's what they were saying with Jay and Gunther. Is that just going to be a Monday Night Raw thing? Since Jay won and Gunther's like, I'll see you in Phoenix. I didn't think there was anything.
They must have screwed up. Because aren't Jay... Wait a minute. They had talked about... Didn't they talk about before this thing? Weren't they talking about wrestling at Money in the Bank? Because if it's not, then they're just wrestling. They're just wrestling on a Monday Night Raw.
That kind of doesn't. Let me see here. See if I can bring up something or it shows me. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they have it at Money in the Bank.
But then those guys are talking about
Phoenix.
So,
I'll see you in Phoenix, because that's what the first thing Gunther said. I don't care if you win or it's Logan that wins. I'll see one of you two in Phoenix. So it's like it's a Monday Night Raw. There's a Monday Night Raw on June 9th in Phoenix. John Cena's supposed to be there, so is Jay and Gunther. So maybe it's that.
Well, it makes sense. Well, so then they're going to have the tag match on the 7th in LA, and they will go ahead and they will.
There you go. That's why.
And they'll do it on a Monday Night Raw. Wow.
That's why I said Phoenix, because you can't. They planned for Jay and Cody to get together to go against Cena and Logan for Money in the Bank, and then they're like, "Well, we'll put."
It's a way to have your champs on the show without having any belts.
True. Here's my question: who wins that match? The Gunther and Jay. Did they give the belt back to Gunther this quick? Like, he's only had it for what? 2 months, 3 months?
Well, the one thing I'll say is this: if Jay doesn't get better on the mic, he won't see a belt again after this run. Not a big belt.
Yeah.
He sucked.
He had that one good one after his brother got beat up. And after that, it's just been crap.
But walking back and forth like he's trying to remember his lines, so he walks back and forth, and stuff, and the crowd is doing the yeet like they used to do the Watt with Stone Cold.
Yeah.
But Stone Cold could handle the mic, so he had that pause.
Yeah.
Jay's not, because if you notice, when Jay all of a sudden, when he started to stumble and he was pausing, he put his hand down. It was like, no, you're not supposed to be saying yeet. I'm screwing up big time. I'm you know what I'm saying? So, so I don't know. I mean, he was horrible on Monday. For that, in that, if you want to call it a confrontation or a chat, whatever the hell you want to call it.
I mean, I'm going to say they're going to give the win to Jay, but it's not going to be a tap out. It'll be an actual pin or DQ from somewhere.
Well, do you want Seth versus Gunther at WrestleMania? Or do you want Seth versus Gunther?
That's a good question.
I mean, that's what it boils down to. I don't know how good either one would be, to be honest with you.
The only thing I see with the Seth and Jay is they're both kind of high flyers. They're a lot of moving around. Gunther kind of is, but not as much. So yeah, either one, like you said, would kind of be an iffy match at best.
But again, there's another guy, Gunther. You go ahead and, to me, here's what I think has to happen. And I just, this just popped into my head. This is a little epiphany. I think you have to have Gunther lose via a run-in from somebody, because if you're not going to, now this is the preference of they're not putting the belt on Gunther.
Right.
Because if you have him go to Phoenix and you have him lose, what the hell are you doing with him?
You mean Jay?
No,
Gunther.
Gunther.
If you have him lose on Monday Night Raw?
Yeah.
Good question.
Now, if you have somebody run in, cause him to lose, like, say, like, interfere, beat up Jay.
Cause a DQ to where he doesn't lose the belt.
Right. And
When's the
Gunther
match
doesn't get the title. Then you at least have somebody that you can put Gunther against
That's true.
for some kind of program or something. Because if not, you got nobody for Gunther. You literally have nothing for him.
Yeah. And that's the only, you're right. That's really the only way that can really run that makes sense. And then what about the tag team? What do you think about that run there that's going on? With the
New Day?
yeah. You for it? Against it?
I mean, I'm okay with it just because I don't know. Because, I mean, I look at the War Raiders and they don't do anything for me. I think American made the Creed brothers. I think they should probably get a chance at some point in time. I mean, they're really good in the ring and stuff like that. Tag team wrestling just isn't where it could potentially be and stuff. Do they kind of look at, if they're not going to put if they're not going to, if Penta's not going to win Money in the Bank, do they put him and Ray back together and let the Lucha Brothers go ahead and
That would
become a tag team? I don't know. What are they doing with Karrion Kross?
Yeah, he just keeps bothering who the hell is it?
Sammy,
yeah.
So
and then he started off with Miz, right?
Yep.
And then now he's with.
And then he did AJ, and then AJ beat him up.
Yeah.
And so now
he goes to Sammy.
You could have that. Could you have CM Punk run in? No, because Punk wants to go after Heyman's guys.
Yeah.
So
he is all about
Punk running into the Jay Gunther thing to set up something with him and Gunther doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, no.
I don't know, man.
That's interesting. And not that I'm going to keep you going here, but how long do you think they keep the belt on Dom?
Doesn't he have to fight to get it off of him?
Yeah, you think that's only in the wrestle, but
I mean, as long as he isn't in a match, I just don't know who.
Do you think after what happened Monday night, Finn tries to go after it? Because he did kind of cause him to lose that match with the chair, even though he pushed it to where it was going to be, so he could get the head stomp. But
yeah, that is your best bet. I think your best bet is Dom against Finn. From that standpoint,
that I think might be a good match too.
Oh, it would be. It would be a good match. It would definitely be a good match.
Wish they'd get rid of Carlito though.
Carlito is the Spanish Ron R-Truth.
This is true.
He comes in, he makes some jokes, he does little things there like that. Carlito's all right, for what he's doing and stuff like that. But now again, you got the whole Roxanne thing going in there now, and are they splitting up as a faction? Is it JD, Roxanne, and Finn, and is it Liv with Raquel and Dom and who the hell knows, man?
That's true. I do like how they brought Liv in this week when Roxanne was there.
Yeah,
giving them the nuggets, and you see Finn just laughing.
Oh yeah,
got in trouble.
Yep.
I just can't see how long they're going to keep that going. Too much. I mean, I can't see them putting them against Heyman's guys. That they'd be killed.
Yeah, yeah. The Heyman faction adding Bronson Reed changes
everything.
Yeah,
because there's no other big guys. Like I said, Damien's about it. Because, like you said, with Drew going on vacation, does Drew come back as a face? Maybe, I don't know. You can't. There's no other real big guys left unless they bring Keith Lee back. I doubt that.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, I don't know. They
There's just too much left up in the air with people.
Yep.
I mean, now they probably know what's going on, but I mean, it's still a little. It's gonna be interesting next couple of weeks.
What if they did? But that's just it. The thing that gets me is I get that completely. But how much longer do they let these things go on? Like they have been hinting at something with Judgment Day. It seems like for what,
like
6 months now?
Yeah. Especially Dom and Finn, they have been at each other and nothing's happened.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe this last Monday night, Finn just is fed up and challenges him for the title. But we'll have to see.
Because for them to go at it, if there has to be one more thing that happens, Dom can't lose the belt. Because you give a shit about Dom versus Finn without the IC belt.
Right. That has to be on the line for the match. There's
Right.
no other way about it.
I don't know.
And you bringing up the draft makes a good point, because what if one of those Heyman guys, big guys, gets moved to SmackDown? Maybe that's what their courses are looking at going. Maybe like Braun or Bronson gets moved to SmackDown. The other two have to stay there. So they don't have that dominating faction.
I would think that they will be a group, and it would be, it'll be whatever. I would think they have to have a name at some point.
Yeah.
And when you draft, I draft my opening pick. I don't know, the Paul Heyman stable, and you get all of them.
Yeah, that could be. I really thought Roman was going to come out when Heyman said acknowledge Seth Rollins. I really thought they were going to have Roman come out at that point and be like,
yeah.
They were calling for him, but who knows what he's doing now? Is he still making a movie, or?
Yeah, I think he was, but again, that's another guy. What are you going to do with him? I mean, you call him the OTC, the tribal chief. I think. What about Fatu and Jeff Cobb? Yeah. I mean, there's so many of these little things. And that's the problem, is that,
And the other two Samoans that are hurt right now, then they come back. What do you do with them?
Right. LA Knight. We already mentioned Damian Priest.
Yeah.
What are you doing with all these people?
I think that's why they're having them, like, I don't know. It's like they've lost what they can do. It's like, what do we do now with them?
Yeah. I
But
mean,
we'll put him in this match. And
it looked like Kaiser was gonna get Ludwig Kaiser was gonna get some kind of little thing.
push. Yeah.
Nothing.
And look what you're doing with Sheamus. I mean, that's even more.
Are we gonna get Sheamus Rusev? Because that came out of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
great.
wasn't going to see that, which, again, we've seen it a number of times.
Where's Aleister Black fit in?
Yeah.
Where's Carmelo fit in? That's what I mean. There are so many. There are so many guys. That's why, to me, I think if they are going to do anything, I think one of the things they really have to consider is not having NXT be looked at as the second class citizen or the lower brand, and kind of figure out a way to balance the talent out amongst all three.
Yeah. If you could do it.
You can still have them. I know they're in the Performance Center, and it's not that big. I mean, they're not that far where they are. They're in freaking Orlando. Don't tell me they can't use where the Orlando Magic play or something along those lines.
Yeah.
To keep them in the area and to keep it and that type of stuff. But I think that's something that they have to look at, because you're going to continue to downplay that. If you're going to bring other people up, you bring Julia, you bring Jordan, you bring Stephanie, you bring Roxanne. You bring them up, you already have a loaded women's roster by talent and by quantity.
Right.
So that means B-Fab.
Yeah.
You're down. B-Chin. You're down. Chelsea Green. Chelsea, we love you, and we love your CIA or whatever the hell that is called. You're down.
You can send Dewdrop down there, whatever her name is now.
That's what I'm saying. Her little faction. All three of you.
Down.
You got to go there, and you're going to be a part of that and everything. Because I just don't, I don't know what they do.
That would make sense doing that, because that would give those other four girls, new girls, let's see how they do. Let's give them a shot. If they don't do well, we can always transfer back and forth.
Yeah.
It's
you move the talent around. You got to balance the talent. You can't keep bringing up all these people unless the idea is, you know what? We're looking at contracts and we're just going to cutting the shit out of people.
Yeah.
But if you're going to bring up these young college guys and college girls, these young, these 20 somethings, and you're going to put them on the main roster, and all of a sudden they go on a regular basis from going ahead and being in front of 1,500, 2,000 fans, all of a sudden, 20,000, 15,000, and then you throw them in a pay-per-view and they're at 50,000. I mean,
yeah, that's gonna hurt.
I don't know. Hey, Dusty.
Hey, Dusty. Now, are they including NXT in the draft, or is it just SmackDown and Raw?
SmackDown and Raw.
Because if they would do it,
I would think that means I would think, for instance, Stephanie Valcour and Jordan Grace. I can see them getting drafted, but I don't think Ava will be on the stage and draft people to be on NXT.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be good for the company to do that, but because then it kind of spreads people around. But it is WWE, so if something tells me you're going to see that faction, Heyman's faction, going to SmackDown for some reason, and that's when you'll have, because Roman is on that, he'll eventually come back and probably do something against them. I don't know. He's the only other big guy besides Damian that could possibly go against them. And what are you doing with Solo? That
That's what I
fact.
mean.
You
That's
got
what I mean. You got
Tunga Loa and whatever the other Loa is that are hurt right now that'll come back.
Tamatonga and Tamaloa.
And now you have that JC.
Pot 2, you have Cobb. You have Solo. Supposedly they have Zilla waiting in the wings.
I've been hearing stuff that he's coming back supposedly with Roman, but again, you never know.
Well, for what?
Yeah,
To go
start
up
the whole
against,
bloodline again?
Tomotoa and Tomalaka. I mean, to go up against. I mean, it's like you're gonna bring Are you gonna bring the bloodline back? Now,
That is
personally,
hard.
I wouldn't have a problem with it if you bring them back where the Usos are back together, and you're like, I wouldn't have a problem if you do it along those lines.
Do you make them face? Because you don't have really a face faction.
Yeah, nobody's gonna boo. I don't think people will boo Roman.
Yeah, that's why I think you could keep them face or make them heel, but I mean, I have a feeling you're going to see Fatu turn face because you can start seeing it slowly. Looks like building to that.
Yeah.
And then maybe him, Zilla, and Roman with the Usos back together. Maybe that's some sort of a faction. Maybe not bloodline, but like you said, who are they going to face? They're going to face Solo and his gang, or do they go after Heyman's gang?
Oh, they go after Heyman's gang.
That's what I would think.
Go after Heyman's gang because I think ultimately, I don't know when, but I gotta believe that you'll have a heavyweight belt on Seth and you'll have tag belts on the other two.
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
Braun and Bronson.
Now they have separate tag teams on both shows, right?
Yep.
Who's got them on SmackDown? Who's that one?
Street Profits.
See that I can see where Bronson and Braun go after.
If they're there.
Yeah. If they're there. Because I don't think it'd be a good match against the New Day. They tear them apart.
Right.
And another one, you got Rey Mysterio coming back. When's his last match going to ever be?
Oh,
does it end up against his son? I don't know. Like a retirement match.
You got Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Do you have the Rey Mysterio Dominic Mysterio relationship go back to being good? Do you have a Rey help Dom? Dom's getting beat up and the person who comes out to save him is Rey.
Oh, that's a good thought. That would make good sense too.
Yeah.
And then you have Americano.
Yeah, Elmar here. But all right, Dusty, have a good one, pal.
I'm going, brother.
In. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out.
I really was hoping they might give the Money in the Bank to Penta, but I don't see it happening. I was surprised he won the match to begin with.
I'd say that's one guy that has gotten a very strange push.
Yes. Because he's lost all but this last match that he won to get into Money in the Bank, I think. One way or another. Yeah, I don't know. Their plans are just out there the way they're doing things. And then they'll push the guy and then all of a sudden drop him like a leaf and say, now we're going to cut you. But we'll bring you back in a couple months. Like Aleister Black and Rusev.
Okay, Money in the Bank. I don't know what the hell. Section TERW 14. Let me see if I click on that. So on Ticketmaster, that is the third tier. $259.35.
No, not gonna happen.
That is top tier. Dude, they still have floor seats available.
There you go. We should go.
Holy crap.
They're probably a couple grand.
Section B, row 2, seat 18.
$5 grand
on Ticketmaster. $32.50.
That's the second row back. Yeah, no. It would have to come with a lot of goodies, and that is not going to happen.
Even row 5 is $2,300, which you're seeing very fucking little.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's just for fun. Monday night in Phoenix. Curious of what they're going, because that's you've got the belt changing hands, and there's a lot of seats left. It looks like, but it might not be as expensive.
Front row on the entrance ramp, but row 11. So you're 11 rows back, but you're on the rail for the entrance ramp. $2,700
for Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Dear God.
Wonder how much Smiley's tickets cost.
So Monday Night Raw in Phoenix, Section B, which is on the entrance ramp, you're one seat off the edge by the ramp. Row 5, seat 2, $867 for a Monday Night Raw.
I mean, you will be seeing Jey Uso.
Wow. $921 to sit behind the ring announcers.
Money in the Bank. Row 7. Seat number 1. $6,100.
Now, is that one of the platinum ones?
Standard admission.
Screw that crap.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. Let's the next one.
Man, dude, the handicapped people in the wheelchairs. $6,100.
You're gonna make a poor handicapped person, basically. But yet, green shirt guy gets there for free.
It's crazy, man.
All right, I gotta look at this before we get off here. I'm looking at SummerSlam just for fun. Yeah, you don't get a seat. No. Why is that? That's not what I wanted.
Upper Deck, row 25. No, that's not Upper Deck. Okay, let's go to the Upper Deck. That's the Teradata Halo Lofts.
Ooh.
One row from nosebleed cost you $405. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Cost you $315.
Well, that's the one we're getting then. Only one of us goes. The other one's got to sit in the parking lot.
Bro, when you bring up the arena, it's amazing. And don't forget, that's California, and it starts at 6:30. So you're getting there at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. I was trying to look at the tickets for SummerSlam, but they don't have. You got to register for them. Wow. I just can't believe what they won for tickets. Oh, there's one in Cleveland of SmackDown. Let's go see what that's going to cost me.
So standard admissions, you don't get a seat.
Wow.
Standard admissions, you have to sell popcorn.
Watch the show. There you go. Where is this at? This is at Cleveland, Ohio.
That was last year, right?
And it says this year. They got, looks like quite a few seats left. The left side of the ring, you're looking at 3 rows back for $8.99. Oh hell, I can sit. Oh nope, not gonna sit there. That's too expensive. Behind the 640. What are the like high tier seats then? Well, they don't even go all the way in this stadium. They only go the first ring or second ring. SmackDown, the cheapest ticket, $116. Wouldn't pay it. I don't care who's going to be there.
I mean, according to StubHub, Section 301, which you're like all the way up, and you're on the same side as how they will enter the ring. $633 each.
Here we go. This is what you're looking for. Your PLE or your.
That says 2-day pass. So you never know. That may be worth.
The main event, Saturday main event, 2-day. I'm going to get you as close as I can. It's in Atlanta. So off the walk-in area, the lower level of the arena, you're 2 seats away from where they walk in. $968.
Wow. Is that for both nights? Does that get you Evolution also?
The way this is worded, WWE 2-day Saturday night's main event and Evolution combo tickets in. Yes. So it gets you both for that price. What's this one? Ooh, you can get another one for $2,400. Wow. 4 rows back from the commentators, $1,200. If you really want to
SummerSlam, Section 2, we're on the floor. It doesn't say where.
Really? You got SummerSlam tickets?
Yeah.
Because I'm on WWE site and it wouldn't let me. It said you had to sign up for
I went to StubHub.
Oh, maybe that's why. How do they have tickets though?
Section 2, just for Saturday night, which would be floor seats, $1,400 just for Saturday.
Dear God. That is ridiculous. Survivor Series.
Freaking Smiley's going to be right there in the first freaking row.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I've got to look at like what these like Clash in Paris tickets go for. Curious.
Why are you going?
No, but it's at the some freaking place arena. Ed Bunny's going to be there. So you're not showing me how to get tickets. Ring reserve. It's all in French, so I can't really tell.
It can't be true, man.
Does not tell you how much they are.
You cannot be telling me that SummerSlam for 2026 is already starting. Oh, it's only on StubHub though.
I was gonna say because if you go through WWE, they ask you to sign up and get the notification.
Oh.
Can you show me tickets here? It's a video. So over there for Friday night SmackDown, a basic seat is €89.50, whatever that is.
8,950?
No. $89.50 or euros, and then you pay for €6 for €6 for what do you call it? For parking. Starting tickets for
that's for Paris?
Yeah, that's for the SmackDown in Paris.
Oh.
If you want the premium level seats, they start at €270. So they're probably not any cheaper there. No, I'm not going to go there either. Yeah, so I mean, the Great American Bash. No, they don't have tickets for that yet. Wow,
That would be something that would probably be fun to go to. That's NXT. That shouldn't be that expensive.
you wouldn't think so. Night of Champions. That's in Saudi though. God, I'm not going to be able to read this. Cena's going to be there. Tickets from $18.67.
Yeah, right.
That's what it says. Book your tickets. Let's just see if that's true or not. You got to have an email. Never mind.
Yeah, because yeah, that's where, and I tell you, and that same day that that NXT Great American Bash is,
Yeah.
gonna go head to head against AEW, all in Texas.
Oh, wow.
Like, and you sure are petty, Triple H.
Yeah. So looking at the Worlds Collide, the Kia Forum is where that's going to be at. Which, this is probably going to be really crappy, but I think it's the only one we can afford to go to. You can get right on the rail as they come in for $4.58. 3 cents. The lowest price tickets is row 26, section 208 for $58.08. So it's still, even for that, $450 to see people you don't even know. I mean, are they going to have some of the main roster come down to that?
Gable's fighting somebody. Gable's going against, I forgot who the guy's name is. I was supposed to.
Oh, that one that was on Monday Night Raw that he.
Yeah.
So you got that. Yeah, I can't see spending this kind of money. No way.
It's definitely becoming.
Oh wait, they are on.
It is definitely becoming difficult.
So right now, the cheapest for SummerSlam on Ticketmaster is $234.92, section 320, row 18.
Yeah.
No way.
That's a football stadium. Think about it. That's not a coliseum.
Yeah.
It's a football stadium. So think about where 320. You'll see the underside of the Jets landing in Kennedy Airport and Newark Airport better than you'll see the freaking wrestlers.
Let's see if you can sit. Let's see, row 5, section 3. Holy crap. That is 5 rows back from where the announcers are. $4,856. No. There's no way you can. How do people afford that? That's what I want to know. I mean, I'm going to save up for 3 years, and when it comes to New Jersey, I'm going to go because I'm saving up $5,000 for 2 nights. I got better things to spend $5,000 on. Well, that's $5,000 for that. You probably got to pay to park another $20. You got to pay for your hotel room, which is going to be out of the city, not near this arena. Yeah, you're looking at probably like $6,000 altogether. Because the hotels are going to up their prices when that stuff comes in. Dom, I need you to spot me $5,000, buddy. It's not going to give me $5,000 in 2 months. Can't hear you, Mikey.
I don't know. I must be getting something that's causing my microphone to go mute. So that there are hotels. There are a couple that are walkable.
Are they sold out for that date? already.
Well, not even using that date. But like the Park Hotel at the Meadowlands, which is a half a mile from MetLife Stadium, is $116. I mean, if you use the calendar, and what is it? It's the first weekend in August, right?
Yeah, August 2nd,
So,
probably, right?
so you're gonna get there on Friday the 1st, and we're gonna check out on Monday the 4th.
So you're looking at
Wait, now the DoubleTree, which is 6 miles away, they have a deal right now for $120.
and DoubleTrees are nice.
Yeah, but again, if you're going there and you're going there with, let's say it's your son, so you're going two people. So that's another, if even if you just fly in for Friday and leave Sunday, I mean that's another $5. Well, no, wait, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you leave. So that's another $380 on top of your tickets.
Which are, if you buy those, that's 10 grand because you're buying 2 seats. Or we could be like me and you. We get those tickets and we just spend the night at Dom's house.
That's too
Drive in
far.
from there.
That's way too far. Dom's way out on Long Island.
It's all right though. Just think of who you'd be hanging out with. We get socks. We know that. So I mean,
Yeah,
we'd be
true.
set.
That's true. We do get it. We do get it.
Love you, Dom.
But but you think about it from that standpoint, John, you're talking about an issue where you're going to have to drive, right? You're not going to walk 6 miles. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? From that perspective,
Dom says he's only 2.5 hours from it. That's not bad.
Fucking way. What are you out of your mind?
I mean, come on.
Hell out of here.
Says we're welcome. I don't know where we'd sleep, but I would never pay that kind of money to go. I wouldn't pay the $300 to sit up high to watch that show.
So I'm trying to look at it. So they have like the La Quinta, which is 3.5 miles away. Again, that would be a tough walk.
It would be. Catch a cab. Uber.
Yeah, but Uber's gonna Uber trying to get around there at that point in time.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
you got
expensive as hell. What I'm saying is 3 miles is $170 a night. We're not really at a point. I mean,
Well, you said the DoubleTree is 120, so that's cheaper. That's closer.
No, it's 6 miles away.
6 miles. That's not bad that they're not upcharging for those days, but they know they're going to be sold out quick when you get closer to it. I'd say by mid-July, they're probably sold out.
Some of them, so the hotel that is a half a mile away is sold out for that weekend already.
Yeah, that's what I figured they'd all be. I'll spend my money grading cards. I just can't get into that either. I barely buy anything anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm trying to.
It's not worth going, even like I said, even to a Raw. The last SmackDown I went to was in Hershey, probably 10 years ago. Probably it was when the Shield was like pretty new, and we sat. You had the commentators here. We were just off to the right of them a little bit. We were about 4 rows back. For 3 tickets, it cost me $250, which that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
Because Roman came right down next to us. He didn't, couldn't do anything, but he wouldn't let you do anything. We were just out of reach. But and now you're paying 1 ticket is more than that. It's like, no, it's not worth it to me. I understand prices go up. I understand that, but not that much.
Oh yeah. We went to a Monday Night Raw here in Atlanta years ago. I couldn't even tell you. And the next time it came, Mike and his buddies went, and the tickets weren't that bad. I mean, they were still, they were probably 50, $60, and you weren't anywhere close. I mean, it was still one of those ones where you'd find yourself peeking at the Jumbotron.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous now. It's like, and pay-per-views have always been ridiculously expensive.
Oh yeah.
And there's no reason for the prices that they're trying. I mean, I know they pay what they pay their people. I understand that. And you got to pay for the building and all that kind of crap. But like you said, 800 million in Vegas. Let's say they.
What is that? What is that? I don't think that's the stadium. I'm thinking that's what the revenue was in all of Vegas that weekend.
You think?
I think that's the way they explained it.
But I look at, let's say it was just for the wrestling events, 800 million. You figure if they came out of there with 400 million, that's, oh wow, I remember watching that one.
Yeah, that was cool. But even still, I mean, that's still. I mean, that's again, those type of. You hate to say it, but for events like this, like WrestleMania, like SummerSlam, that makes sense because you have a giant stadium with so many hotels close by, a lot of them that people could walk to.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. MetLife. You look at MetLife right now. You look at SummerSlam. Oh my gosh, SummerSlam. It's only 2 months away.
Yeah.
It's not like it's 6 months away. And when you look on, I think when I was on StubHub, there were a lot of blue dots.
Yeah, I saw that even on Ticketmaster the same way. It was like
there's a lot of blue dots still available. So we'll see. So obviously, they'll hold those prices for as long as they can.
Oh yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I would say maybe 2 or 3 days before they drop the prices, maybe is when they do it. That they're not selling as quick as they want. They'll claim it's a sellout, but
I think you'll see it like the Monday before.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's what they did at WrestleMania. I think at WrestleMania they started to drop the prices like a week before or 10 days before.
I think they don't drop them enough.
Right. But I don't know. I mean, if you live in the area, that's what I'm saying. If you live in the area near SummerSlam, right near that area where you don't mind driving. I mean, obviously, the only issue you have is, are you able to get tickets, together if you're going with a group of people?
Right.
If you're going to go by yourself, one ticket is easy to go ahead and find.
Yeah.
But if you need two and you need them together.
I mean, right now you're good, but if you wait, it might not be. Like if money wasn't an object and I lived where Dom is, in a heartbeat, I'd pick me up some tickets or a ticket and go. It's only 2.5 hours for me. I don't mind driving that, even in New York traffic.
Dom, can you take the train? Would the train get you close by where you wouldn't even have to drive? You can go by train.
Is a train station walking distance to MetLife?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about. I'm not sure about the mass transit part piece. But Dom would definitely know for sure.
He said yes.
What?
I was gonna say because he's been to baseball games. I think there.
No, MetLife is football.
Oh. What do the Mets play in?
Citi Field in Queens.
Okay. There's a station close by, so you could just take the train in and.
So you don't have to worry about driving or anything like that. You go ahead and get a ticket, get a train.
Yeah, so you could actually do it pretty good. Shea Stadium, that's what I'm thinking of, yeah. Although they're probably not called that anymore.
No, it's called City Field.
Ridiculous.
Shea Stadium went away in 2000 and
They bus people to the stadium. You get your popcorn. That's like Philly. You ride the train, get your pretzel.
yeah, those are
Little
good
carbon
pretzels.
monoxide pretzel. It's all right though.
Those are really good pretzels.
They're the ones that taste good though. They are.
Yep.
So,
So I
anyway,
mean, there are things you could do if you're outside, if you're on that side, But I mean, you know,
I wrote Shea Stadium on a new place and renamed. Oh, did you? Okay.
so
Yeah.
again, you know, you could do that, but you got to think of, you got to think there will be a certain number of people, that might stay in New York City to get the whole effect, right?
Yeah.
There might be people that are looking at, that's their vacation, so that's what
Yeah.
they're
Make a
doing.
whole like either week of it or
Yeah,
whatever. Just we're gonna go to New York. Go this in the end of the week. There you go. Not that I would think New York's a great vacation spot. No offense, New York City is really not that great to me. But and nothing against you guys that live there and stuff like that. It's not
no,
like Philly better.
I mean, again, you would need to make it. I mean, you have to make it a worthwhile thing. Like we don't even know, um, you know, are they doing anything else other than the 2 nights? Like is a WWE doing anything else, any place else? Because again, if you know,
I don't think so.
I mean, obviously they're not going to have a Hall of Fame, but who knows?
Let's see here. Yeah, because Fanatics Fest is June 20th to the 22nd, so that's not so like a month and a half before.
Right.
I didn't see anything. They're not going to do a fan fest. I mean, they might, maybe they do,
They could.
but don't they usually you got to buy tickets to that too? So you think
Yeah,
they
that's
do?
what I mean. That's what I mean. So probably they're not doing it. They're not. You haven't really heard them advertising anything other than SummerSlam.
SummerSlam,
More
yeah,
than likely, nothing else is going to happen other than that.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because with Mania, you see, yeah, go to WD Fan Fest and get your tickets for that. Get your tickets for the WrestleMania. This is just SummerSlam. Here you go.
So if you're looking at that in reality, going ahead and showing up Friday, you're hanging out at the hotel, you're going, you're getting something to eat and everything. Then you're going to go to the show and you're going to be there for a long time. You go back to your hotel Sunday, you do the exact same thing. So, I mean, I could see a lot of people just doing a Friday to Monday thing there.
That could be.
You know,
I bet you the reason that one hotel sold out is probably where a lot of the WWE people are going to stay because it's right there.
that's true. Half a mile away.
I can't see them. I mean, some of them might go to DoubleTree, but I mean, where is that Friday's SmackDown and Raw?
Hell, one of those is going to be in Madison Square Garden.
I'll tell you in just a second here.
You would have to think.
You would think. That's after SummerSlam. So let me scroll down here. There is SummerSlam. They don't show it at anything after SummerSlam. Oh, wait. Let me go back up here. Why do they not show SummerSlam in there? Because the 28th Raw is in Michigan. August 8th, SmackDown is in Montreal.
But that's the week after.
Yeah. They don't show, like, why is that not showing? because they show. Oh, that's why. Duh. The SmackDown or the SummerSlam I was looking at. So August 3rd, second and third is that. So that would be what? August 5th? No, 4th.
It'd be the 1st and the 4th. They don't say. I mean, on StubHub, they don't even show those dates.
No, they even on WWE it goes from Raw Monday, July 28th to August 8th for SmackDown. They don't show anything happening there. So,
Yeah, so you do have what? I mean, I don't think the arena in that area is still around. I know it used to be called the Continental Airlines Arena, but I don't think I don't think you still have I don't think you have that. So I don't think there's any kind of arenas over there, not that I know of. I would almost think you'd have to have. I could see SmackDown at the USB arena where the Islanders play, and then maybe having Raw at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, but isn't Izod Center? But that's Newark, Dom. Yeah, they could do. They could. Yeah, that's true. They could use Newark.
no, I'm not seeing anything. Even I looked it up and does not show. Nobody shows an August thing for it for either show that like the week after where they're going to be at. Well, let me see something here.
Yeah, I could see them doing the SmackDown in New Jersey, maybe at the at the Izod Center or at that in Newark.
So the Friday after, like after SummerSlam, it's in Quebec.
Right.
SmackDown, I don't know where. They've got to do one on the 4th unless it's going to be a pre-taped show from somewhere.
If I was going to guess, I would think Raw would be from MSG.
That's what I would think.
Madison Square Garden.
I mean, it could be like you said, it could be Barclays. Like it's a possibility.
Could be Barclays. Could be the USB on Long Island, or they could throw in Newark. They could go ahead and throw SmackDown there, and then
There.
have SmackDown in Newark on Friday. Then you have your SummerSlam. Then on Monday you're in Madison Square Garden.
Did it say like a? I forgot to look at that because you have the 4th would be that Raw, July or August 1st. Where's that SmackDown at? I wonder.
That's not on there yet. That's what I'm saying. You could go ahead and you could have SmackDown on the Friday, which is August 1st. You could have that be in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And then you can turn around. Then you have your what do you call it?
Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw at MSG.
That is possible. It's just funny that they wouldn't be trying to sell tickets already for you're selling tickets for everything else.
It is weird.
I mean, I can't see him taking Monday Night Raw off and not doing a show. That would make no sense. But even a tape, maybe is it a tape show possibly? Even though Raw is supposed to be live.
That would, man, I cannot imagine them doing that.
I can't either, but with them not putting it out there.
I don't know, what does it say over here?
Same with the Friday Night SmackDown on the 1st. It seems like something's going on that maybe something big's going to happen before and after SummerSlam. I don't know.
Yeah, see, the what they do for Vegas?
Vegas Monday Night Raw was still in Vegas after Monday night, I believe, or after.
Is that like Thomas and Mack?
I think so. The SmackDown was, I think, in a different city. too lucrative not to have the shows. I agree, Dom. I do. I'm just trying to figure out, like, because we all know that SmackDown is taped. I'm pretty sure, still taped, but Raw usually is live. So I don't know what's going on there. Like I said, they're holding something out and making something big happen. But then, how do you sell tickets to the show unless you put it out there? They say it's the 159th episode of Raw. I think they said. But yeah, they had to put it some. They had to have both of them.
What do I think? I think you. Yeah, it's true. I think what it was. I think the whole thing was in Vegas, but you can have it there, right? You know. Now that's why I think what you could potentially do. To me, being that close to Madison Square Garden, I don't know why you wouldn't have Raw at Madison Square Garden.
So yeah, they were all there. The NXT show, Monday Night Raw, and NXT were held at the T-Mobile Arena. It says Friday Night SmackDown was held at unspecified at that time. So that was all out there. So you'd think they'd put it all here too.
Right, but what I think, like I said, I'm again, I could see them giving SmackDown to Newark, New Jersey, but I could definitely see them giving MSG Raw on Madison Square Garden. Everybody's staying right there. Then everybody heads to LaGuardia Airport.
Heads up to.
You can head out. You could. Those that are going home, go home. Those that are going to be going up to Montreal can do their thing there.
But this is my whole thing that I don't understand is you don't announce the shows. How are you going to sell tickets and sell enough tickets that quickly if you're not putting it out there ahead of time like you do with every other one? Or did they sell? No. Sellout wouldn't make sense either. Yeah, I don't know. That's just odd to me that they wouldn't be on the schedule. And like you don't have anything from August 1st until August 8th on the schedule except for SummerSlam. It just, there's something missing there, or they just didn't put it on the site maybe. I don't know. Right, I agree. I'm just trying to figure out, like, how are they going to sell the tickets if they don't announce the show ahead of time, like they do with all the other shows that are on WWE. I'm looking, and I mean, the only thing you could do is go on Madison Square Garden site and see if maybe it's there.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I think when you
Wow.
I think when you look at the whole thing, it definitely would be one of those things where you would want to try and sell tickets. But I think what they might be looking at it from a standpoint of is that because of the location of SummerSlam, maybe they don't have that. They know they can't have Raw there, so they're not necessarily worrying about trying to tell people where it's going to be, or because people won't stay. Because for you to stay in New Jersey, then to try and make SmackDown and Raw and be there until 10 o'clock, and then I don't know. I don't know. I want to say anything's possible, but I don't even know what these freaking guys anymore, to be honest with you.
I'm looking on Ticketmaster. They don't say anything either. Trying to figure out different ways to maybe. They might be cheaper, but I doubt it. They're probably going to try to keep the same price as they do everywhere else. But I guess we just have to wait and see what they plan on doing. I would imagine they're going to have some matches set up prior to what do you call it? The SummerSlam, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I would think, you know,
I mean, technically,
if that's the last time they'll be in their MSG, I would think you would have Cena there.
Right. And you'd have Cody on the SmackDown that night. I think probably even possibly on Raw that night. Who knows? But I mean, they do have a full month to say, "Hey, we're going to be at Madison Square Gardens on the 4th," but who knows?
Yeah, I think the thing they're looking at, to be honest with you, is to Dom's point. I don't think if you go ahead and you announce that the Raw after SummerSlam is going to be an MSG, they're not going to have an issue selling it out. If you're going to say, "Hey, we're going to do SmackDown the Friday night in Newark, New Jersey," that's not going to have any problem selling out. So they're not that's not going to be an issue for there.
So yeah, be interesting to see what happens.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, it is midnight.
Yep, it is midnight.
I gotta get some sleep.
Yep. Thanks a lot, buddy.
No problem. Anytime. And what is it?
I have to put it together. I guess next week is going to be Money in the Bank review.
Oh yeah.
So I'll see you next week.
Hi, brother. Have a good one. Everybody
Thanks
in the chat, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you guys.
Have a great evening.
Later.